friends, so today I'm going to show you how to make an updated version of the ear savers we made last week together. So here's the previous ear saver we made together. This is going to be worn on the lower part of your head, that's just where it falls, and then the mask straps are going to go around these buttons instead of the back of your ears. What's cool about this ear saver is normally the mask straps are above and below your ear. With this one, you can drop that top strap down and put it below your ear. So both straps can be below your ears, not even around them at all, and it will still keep it secure and tight to your face. So that was last week, and now I'm going to show you how to make a new version. And this is kind of cool. I have a ponytail holder in it. So you can have a mid to high ponytail, and then these are going to drop down. We've got the buttons for the straps of your mask to go, and then when you're not using it, you don't want this is stuck to your ponytail, so you don't want to like this be flopping around. All you gotta do is you take this elastic band, wrap around this button, and this goes right around your ponytail when it's not in use. How cool is that? So I think that's great. It stays in place and then it's there when you need it. So I'm gonna show you how to make one of these. I use a ladder yarn in this. So ladder yarn is like this. Looks like a ladder. I'm not going to put this in the video. I'm just going to use my tube yarn. It's a bulky 5-weight yarn. That way it doesn't get really confusing when I'm crocheting it. But this is how I do it. I hold them both together. I'll go ahead and do a little chain so you can see what I'm talking about. I go ahead and make my slip knot with both of them. Sorry, that was loud. And then holding them both together, I just go ahead and just like this. So for this video, I'm not going to add that ladder yarn in. I think it would just be too confusing for a demonstration. Things you're going to need for this project. Now everything you need will be in the description, and there'll be links where you can find the items I'm using or items very similar to what I'm using. You are going to need an eye hook. You are going to need a pair of scissors. You're going to need an elastic band. Now you don't have to have elastic band. I recommend it. You could use thread or a piece of yarn to just make a loop. That's all you really need. But the elastic band's nice because it's stretchy and it's just really easy to put on and take off. So I recommend elastic band, ladder yarn. This is what ladder yarn looks like. I'm not going to be doing it for the demonstration, but I absolutely use it in my projects. Here are some other of the ear savers I've made. This one's more of like a camo. These ones aren't blocked and they don't have buttons. I didn't finish them yet. And this is actually the pink with the gold that I have here. So that's what this is going to look like. So for the demonstration, I'm not going to use a ladder yarn. And then we have a bulky 5-weight tube yarn. It's got the polyester in the middle. Makes this super soft, and it's nice. It doesn't pill either. You're also going to need 2 buttons. So I use the shank button for mine. So it has this kind of back here. And the reason why I used it is so I could thread on an elastic band and it stay exactly where I want it to stay. So here's the button, and then on the back of the button, that's where I have the elastic band. So here's this button. I'll show you what that looks like. I just push it through. And there you go. You see the shank button there. I sewed that on. And then this is how I put the elastic band on it. So I got my needle. Sorry, I'm having to look through a camera to thread something. That's difficult. Okay. So here we go. I have the elastic band threaded through my needle. And you don't have to thread it through the needle and put it through the shank. You could just go around one of the posts for the double crochets in here, but I put it through here. So anyways, all you gotta do is pull it halfway through, Okay, so we got halfway through, you can see that. And then just put one loop inside the other loop. Oh, I'm making this look like it's very hard. It really is not hard. And then you just pull tight. So that's what I did. You don't have to do it into the shank of the button, and your eye hole might not be as large as mine is. So you could just put it around the post stitch if you want to, but I wanted to show you exactly what I did because that's what I did. All right, let's begin. Start with a slip knot. And go ahead and chain 29. Now remember, you don't need to keep my pace. I do all my videos where you can pause. So you just need to chain 29, pause here, and then play when you're ready. When you get to the 26th chain, that's where I put my thumb on top of because I know I'll be working into that chain. So 26, I put my thumb there, and then I continue with 27, 28, 29. Now we're going to double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. So here's the hook, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So where my finger is on chain 25, that is the 4th chain from the hook. So we're going to double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into that chain, yarn over, and pull up a loop. You're going to have 3 loops on the hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over again, and pull through the last 2. I'm going to break that down one more time. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain. And if you don't know where the next chain is, just follow the loop on your hook down, 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 and you see how all of this business is coming out that little rainbow. We don't want to be there. We want to go into the next one free of all the business. So yarn over, insert your hook into that chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we are going to crochet, we're going to do a double crochet in the next 10 stitches. So here I have 2 so far. 1, 2. So do that 10 times. And if you still need help with the double crochet, check out my tutorials on my channel where I break them down and teach them to you. Hold on. Have a sip of your pumpkin spice. Anyways, just go ahead and pause and replay when you have your 10 double crochets. And if you need extra help, make sure you check out my tutorials on my channel. Okay, so this is rolling up. Don't worry about that. I had to block this finished product for it to be flatter. If you don't block it, it does this. Once you start wearing it, it doesn't. It blocks it by wearing it, but it's okay, it's rolling up. And mine's rolling up too. All right, so we should have our 10 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so the first 3 chains that we skipped is actually going to count as a stitch 2. So that's going to count as a double crochet. So you did 10 double crochets, but we're going to add this 1. So it's actually 11 double crochets on this side. And now we're going to chain 5. And then we're going to skip 5. So if you lost your place, follow the post down and you can see that chain has some business. We're going to be starting with this chain that has no business. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leave those all unworked. Go into the 6th chain with a double crochet. And then you're just going to double crochet to the end. You should have 11 double crochets. on this side as well. All right, and make sure you make it into that last chain. If you're a beginner, make sure you count your double crochets. The way I count double crochets is I count them by the post, kind of like I'm going up a ladder. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have this so far. And now we are going to be doing single crochets, no more double crochets. Go ahead and chain 1. Now in this double crochet post, we are going to be working in the middle. So here is the bottom of that post. We are going to be working in this stitch afterwards. So in the middle, you have these two, you got this one, you got this one. I want you to work in either one of them. You can do a single crochet here, underneath this loop, okay? Or you can do it in this top loop. So that's where I'm going to work. I'm going to work into that loop. So here we are. You're going to be working in the middle of this post, this loop or this loop. I'm going to pull up this loop. So we're going to do a single crochet into your hook, into one of those loops. Here, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We are going to put 3 single crochets into that same spot. So that was the first one. We're going to insert a hook into the same spot, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both. So that's 2. We need 1 more. Put your hook into the same spot, yarn over, pull up a loop, and yarn over, pull through 2. So now we got 3 single crochets into the side of that post. Now at the bottom of the post right here, next to that knot that we made in the beginning, we are going to be putting 2 single crochets. So go ahead and insert your hook into that space. Go ahead and tuck that string behind, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through both. All right, so 2 single crochets there. Okay, so now we're doing 1 single crochet in each of these next chains until we get to this point here. So the next place we're going to be going into is right here, and we're going to need 2 loops of a single crochet. If you don't know where we're at, follow the post up. So here's the post from that double crochet, and right above it is where we're going to be going into. So here we go with a single crochet, and then we go into the next here, and if you don't know where we're at, same thing. Follow the post, and at the top of the post there is a hole. You're going to go into that hole and underneath 2 loops. And just keep repeating that until we get to that big space here. And here's the last one right here. Let me count and see how many that is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 10 single crochets. Ooh, focus. There we go. Okay, in this big space, we're just going to do 5 single crochets just into this big hole. So hook goes into the big hole and do a single crochet. Just put in the big hole, single crochet. And you just do that 5 times. So we're not working into the stitches, we just work around that. We just work into that big hole like that, and see what it looks like. Okay, so now we're going to the next stitch. Again, follow the post up, and on the top of there is where we're going to be working into. So we're going to do 10, and we're going to single crochet in the next 10 stitches. So that's 1, 2, and then just go ahead and pause here and replay when you have 10. Okay, so here's a 10. Now, remember in the beginning I said those first 3 chains that we skipped, that's going to count. So here we have those 3. So that's the first one, 1, 2, 3. So that's all 3 chains. You can see that. Yeah, okay. So that's the first one, 1, 2, 3. We are going to work 2 single crochets into the top loop of that chain. So we're not going to go underneath 2 loops like we were before. We're going to go into this first chain, just the top loop. Focus. And 2 single crochets there. Now in the middle chain, which was the second chain, we're going to put 3 single crochets there. So top loop right here. We're going to do 3 single crochets in that space. All right, next up. So this is the last chain. We're going to do that top loop there, and we're going to put 2 single crochets into the same space there. So pull up that top loop and 2 single crochets there. And then we're going to return to normal. I'm going to go ahead and go underneath both loops for a single crochet. And we're going to do 10 single crochets till we get to this hole again. So that first one we just did, that counts as the first one as 1. And here's the second one. So just keep doing that until we get to the big hole. All right, so that's 10 single crochets. And this here, follow the post up, and that should be where the last one goes. So we have 10 single crochets here, and now we're going to be working into the big hole. And just like we did on the other side, we're going to do 5 single crochets into it. So hook just goes into the big hole, and you're going to single crochet 5 times. There you go. All right, now we're going to be doing 10 single crochets over the next 10 stitches here. So this first double crochet, follow it up, 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 and the top of it is going to be our first single crochet. Okay, and we got our second one, and just keep going until we have 10. Okay, now we have our 10 single crochets. Let me just make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, in the next chain, or next stitch, we're going to put 2 single crochets. And this will be the last thing we do. So 2 single crochets in that next stitch, and that's it. So we are going to connect this to the chain 1. So I'm going to take my hook out, make sure my camera is focused, and here we have 1, 2, 3 stitches on top here, and this little teeny tiny wee guy, which is next door, is actually the chain 1 that we want to work into. So I want to put the slip knot on the back side of this project so you don't see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to go into that teeny tiny little chain. And you might need, I did my chain 1 kind of tight, so you can use a smaller hook if you need to. So here we go, that chain 1, I'm putting my hook in backwards in. I'm going to take this loop and put it on my hook. Okay, and then I'm going to pull it through like so. I'm going to flip it backwards, pull this tight, get my scissors, cut it, and just finish it off. So I'm just going to pull that string through the loop. And so what that's going to do, and then pull tight, is the slip knot is on the back side where you don't see it. If we put it on the front, it'd be a big ugly knot on the front. So that's it. All we have to do now is sew in the buttons. You could use, you know, the flat buttons or the shank buttons. I like the shank ones. I don't want that color. I use the shank ones so I could go ahead and put in that elastic band. But that's all there is to it. Just sew that in, sew in your ends. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Tell me which one you like better. If you like this version or if you liked the other version better. Make sure you subscribe so you get to see all my videos first. I almost forgot to show you how to block things. Okay, so all you do is, I'm gonna go ahead and put this stuff in the description so you know where to find it. I've got my blocking pins in here. I just go ahead and stretch this out, and I'd put 3 pins around the corner here. I put 2 here. I would get a water bottle and just soak this now, and then just let it dry. And then when it's dry, just take the pins out, and that's it. It's blocked. So I recommend doing the blocking like this. I have seen people, you know, soak the product, you know, the item that you've made, and then like put a heavy book on it. I just don't think that's the best way of doing it, because you have something that's really wet and then you're putting something on top of it. It doesn't exactly air dry, and I don't think it makes it smell very fresh. Doing it this way, I feel like it'll get dry a lot faster. It's gonna be a lot fresher. And also, I don't really want all this compacted down. I just want it to have the shape. So if you are putting something on top of it, it's also gonna kind of compress this. I'm sure it would come back to life after a few wears and things, but there's just no reason to squish it all down. So that's how you block, and I'll put that in the description.